Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Master RKO, and welcome back to another episode of What's the Difference? This is where we hop into Smite and look at a couple items that are in the same build tree and see what exactly is the difference. Why should we build this item? When should we build it? Is it better than some of the items in the tree? And overall, which is more viable? By viable, we mean which is more useful, and is it part of the meta? Now, today we are talking about an item that isn't used too much. It's mainly used in the solo lane, sometimes for mid. But late game, it's not really used as much as it probably should be, and that is teleport. Now, last week we said we were going to talk about teleport. We ended up talking about breastplate because it was just something that went in with build. But this also can kind of go into the build as well, so we're going to go ahead and talk about teleport here. Now, there's two types of teleport, of course. There are shielded teleport, and there's also teleport to gods. Both of them have some major differences, and this is probably the most different that some of these can be. So we're going to talk about both of them, see which one we think is better for games, and eventually coming out with a solution. Most of the time, the last couple times we come up with the solution that both are pretty much equal, and that no matter what, they are each usable. But the last time we did this, we did breastplate and mail of renewal. We found out mail of renewal is actually a little bit better, except for on Loki. So today we're talking about teleport. So we're going to go ahead and start with shielded teleport. The description of shielded teleport is: using this item allows you to teleport to any allied tower or ward without damage interruption, while being unable to move. While being unable, I read that completely wrong. Let's try that again. Using this item allows you to teleport to any allied tower or ward without damage interruption while being unable to move. You are still interrupted by hard crowd control. So, you can teleport as long as you're not taking any damage. You can teleport to any allied tower or ward anywhere around the map, but it's interrupted if you take a hard CC. From there, we have teleport to gods. Using this item allows you to teleport to any allied god while being unable to move. Any damage interrupts the teleport. So teleport to shielded teleport, you can take damage and still teleport unless it's a hard CC. With teleport to gods, you can still take damage and you don't teleport. The big thing on this is the cooldowns. Now, shielded teleport, or as I just call it, teleport to wards, because I never use it for towers at that point in time, because usually they're gone if you're trying it, is 120 seconds. Now, teleport to gods is double that. It's 240 seconds. Now, let's talk about some of the situations that you would use this. Teleport to gods, you're literally teleporting on them. So most of the time, you're not going to be teleporting to them in the middle of a fight because you're asking to kill yourself. And you're not going to teleport to them any other time besides before a fight, because there's no reason to do it unless you're wanting to split push with them. So the only time you're going to be using teleport to gods is if you see a fight that's about to go down and you want to get to them fast because you're out of position. So if you're the type of person who is constantly out of position, you notice that when fights are going down, you're nowhere near it, and your map awareness isn't the best, teleport to gods can really be your best friend. If you see a fight going down and you see someone's out of it but they're making their way to it, you can teleport to them and you'll be right there with them. Even though it's a 240 second cooldown, the chances of you needing it by 240 seconds is slim to none, especially after a big team fight. So if you see yourself just kind of alone out there in the wilderness and you see that your team's constantly getting in fights, and you notice you have teleport as a regular teleport as an active, teleport to gods may not be the worst choice for you, because you're going to be able to get into team fights faster. You're going to be there to support your team, and you're not going to be completely out of position when that's happening, unless, say, you're Loki and you're wanting to split push. On the other side of the tree, there is shielded teleport. Now, shielded teleport, or teleport to wards, lets you teleport to any ward around the map, or to teleport to towers. Now, this can be used in two ways. Teleport to god, you're not going to be able to teleport as a disengage, because as soon as you take damage, it's going to be interrupted. So the chances of you getting off of that is slim to none. You can teleport to any ward or tower while taking damage. So if you have enough defense and you're able to take some damage enough to teleport away, you could teleport to any ward or any tower across the map and get away. So you can use it as a disengage. You can also use it as an engage. Say you have a ward at the enemy team's back XP camps or their back harpies, and you notice that they keep sending people over there, but they're not really doing anything. They keep clearing that camp, and there's no one ever there to protect them. If you're a god with a bunch of burst damage, especially a jungler like Loki or even Hunbats, you can use your teleport to ward and set a ward back there, not only for vision, so your team knows where they're going to be at, because you could set it by their buff camps, their mid harpies, any objective, or even your wards on your side for defensive, and teleport to it, burst them down, and then take off. I've seen a lot of people who are Loki players, especially myself, set wards at their back harpies, wait for them to start clearing the camp, teleport to it, jump on them, ult them, hit them with your B, do the burst damage, and they're dead. And not only did they not get that camp, but now you just got to kill a free camp, and now you're gone, and they can't do anything about it. You just reset their death cooldown. So when it comes to that, you can also use it objectively. If your team has a ward by a Gold Fury or a Fire Giant, and the other team isn't placing their wards, which usually you will know if they just walk over your ward, if they're in the middle of doing it and you think that you can steal it, you can buy maybe Hog 3, or if you have a god that has some burst damage with their abilities, say a Scylla, a Poseidon, or even maybe a Hou Yi or an Agni, you can teleport to that ward, hop in there, steal the Fire Giant or Gold Fury, and even though you might die, most of the time it's worth. So when it comes down to it, there's two teleports with two completely different playstyles. If you're a new player and you don't seem to be that far into meta stages, you're really out of range when it comes to knowing where to be at all times, and you're just kind of out there, you notice that you're out of team fights a lot, you're always the last one alive because you're not able to support your team, and you just tend to be overextended, or even just out, not even really out there, but just, there's a word for it, but you know what I'm talking about. Then teleport to gods is definitely the item for you, because it's going to get you back into the team fight. You're going to be able to teleport to your allies, maybe protect them or save them, and make sure that you're getting that XP that you need while still being away from them and usually in a bad spot. But if you're the player who kind of, your team's warding a lot, you know where the enemy team is, even if you're ahead, you're the kind of person who wants to disengage and an engage, and you want that objective power, you have been making your rotations, you're always in the fights anyway, and teleport towards is definitely your item. So it all just matters on what kind of god you're playing, or what cooldowns you want. If you want something with a low cooldown, teleport towards is definitely for you. If you want something that you don't care about the cooldown, you just want something to get back into fights with because you're off doing something else, then teleport to gods is definitely your item. So in the end, I would definitely say that it's a playstyle choice, but the final decision is definitely that shielded teleport is definitely the better item to get. You can teleport to wards, which means you have to have wards down to use it, which means you're going to be buying wards, which means you're going to be having vision. So it's almost, having shielded teleport almost forces you to buy wards, which is always a good thing. If your team's not buying any wards, teleport to gods is also good, but honestly, shielded teleport is a better item to get. It forces you to buy wards, it gives you knowledge, you can teleport anywhere, it's a disengage, it's a re-engage, and it's on a shorter cooldown. So that's going to do it for this video and this episode of Smite, What's the Difference? If you like this video, click the like button below. If you want to see another item, or you want a god build, or some tips and tricks, leave it in the comments below of what you'd like to see brought up. And as always, if you want to see more of my videos and get notified whenever I release a new one, hit that subscribe button. As always, I'm Master RKO. I'm not too sure what item we're going to be doing next, but